Hello, people of YouTube. This is my first rant slash review, whatever you want to call it, and it's called "What the Fuck Happened to Horror Movies." First off, I want to talk about the entire horror movie genre in general. In the last few years, we've been seeing less and less horror movies than ever. I mean, I can't remember the last time I saw a decent horror movie. And like, even in October, which is supposed to be like the month for horror movies, we saw like what, two, three, maybe four horror movies. I just gotta question this whole idea of not having any horror movies during the month when there's supposed to be more horror movies than any other month of the year. I mean, and now horror movies aren't even that good. I mean, for Christ's sake, last horror movie I saw was Quarantine, which I think I can simulate that experience just by mixing a bunch of fucking Vicodins and drinking a half a bottle of vodka while I shake like uncontrollably like I'm having a fucking seizure for 12 hours. You know? If you want to do, like, I'm sorry, I just don't like this POV thing. If you like this POV, like the first person point of view, Cloverfield shit, good for you. I'm glad you enjoy that. I don't. You know? I don't need to feel like I'm in a realistic situation here. The more unrealistic you go with horror movies, the more I'm going to enjoy it. And that's my opinion, but that's what I'm saying. There's nothing really realistic about fucking rabies infested zombies tearing the shit out of people. You know? It's all just about, it's all about atmosphere. Because lately, what I've been seeing in horror movies is shitty storylines, unlikable characters, and then just like they just try to shove random gore into it, thinking that's gonna scare people. It's not. I'm tired of going to horror movies and laughing my ass off. That's not why I pay to go to a horror movie. I pay to a horror movie not necessarily be scared, but at least feel something like feel nervous at some point in the goddamn movie. Like before I saw Quarantine, I saw Mirrors. That's another piece of shit. I can't understand who would make this. Like, I don't know if you liked it. I didn't. It was predictable. It was fucking predictable. That's another problem with horror movies. They're too fucking predictable. The twists at the end of horror movies aren't twists at all because we've seen it coming. We know what's gonna fucking happen before it does. And here's the saddest part. Now they're grouping these like suspense thrillers into the horror movie genre, which I personally don't think they belong there. Like Saw. Saw 5. Worst movie I've seen in the Saw series so far. I like the Saw series, but 5 was pathetic. It was so fucking predictable. And it's just like they're doing the same shit over and over again, which I don't mind, but there's only so many times you can run people through a green filtered room before I realize, hey, this is the same fucking shit I've been watching 4 times over already. You know? So, what I'm trying to say is that I want some originality. I want some new stuff to come out of Hollywood's protruded asshole. Because I need some goddamn horror movies I can watch in a movie theater. I'm sick of going out, buying these independent films, which are good in most cases, but they don't have the same effect. You can't expect me to feel the same if I'm watching a horror movie shoved in my room at 12 o'clock at night with the lights off, which I usually am, but I'm masturbating, not watching a fucking horror movie. Than if I'm stuck in a movie theater with other people around me to experience what I'm experiencing, you know? And now Hollywood in this trend of like remaking every single fucking thing they can get their hands on. I heard they're gonna remake Friday the 13th, which really isn't bad. I have high hopes for it since the last installment in the series was Jason X, and that was just the most pathetic piece of shit I think I've ever seen. You know, as far as Friday the 13th goes, there is nowhere to go but up. So if they fuck this up, they really have a new low standard. Besides that, I'm not seeing any horror movie villains. There's no villains. There's just horror. There's no like Freddy anymore. There's no Jason. There's no Chucky. There's no Candyman. There's no Leatherface. There's none of this shit. There's no more iconic characters. No Hannibal Lecter. None of this shit. What you get instead is just like random hordes of zombies or just random occurrences and phenomena. Mirrors. Everything was controlled by a fucking mirror. How the fuck does that even make sense? Even in the world of horror movies, where everything is supposed to be all dark and shit and not make sense at all, demons stuffed inside of a fucking mirror, that's just mind blowing right there. What the fuck do you have to be on to come up with shit like this? Like, Other than that, I'm sick of these goddamn annoying plot lines that make no sense. They're like shitty plot lines with unlikable characters that you really can't feel for. Like a good horror movie is a horror movie that actually makes you give a shit about the person that they're trying to kill. Movies like The Happening, that's where the plot lines go straight to shit. If you ever see The Happening, you'll understand what I'm telling you. That movie was an abomination upon God. It was like a holocaust of the mind. It was insanely bad. But in short, like the only horror movie right now that I haven't seen so far is The Haunting of Molly Hartlett, which I really hope if any of you have seen it, can you please give me a heads up because I'm probably gonna go watch it either way, but I just want to know what I'm gonna be in for when I'm walking in. You know, you don't go to horror movies to laugh, and that's what I did. Quarantine. I was laughing my ass off halfway through the movie, and I wasn't the only one. That's the sad thing. Half the fucking theater is just laughing their asses off at this pathetic movie because you try to you really do try to get into the feel of the horror movie, but it just doesn't work sometimes. And Hollywood just keeps shoving this shit into our faces, thinking, oh, if we get a shitty plot line and unlikable characters, but we put some gore in it, people are gonna enjoy it. No, that's not what it's fucking about. And it's not even that great gore. It's just like you can see people's guts now. That's not an incredible effect that's gonna make me revolutionize the whole horror movie genre per se. I want more original ideas. I want original plot lines. I want more fucking amazing villains. I want to see more fucking shit. If they ever come out with like a Quarantine 2, and by the way, speaking of quarantine, can we stop with the fucking gimmicks? Can we stop with this POV for Christ's sake? It was cute in Cloverfield. Okay, Cloverfield, haha, giant monster. I'm gonna go film it with my fucking handy cam because I'm that much of a dumb shit. It was fun. It was nauseating. It was fucking vomit inducing because this motherfucker was shaking it like he had some kind of extreme Tourette syndrome. But it's not gonna work for every single genre. Cloverfield wasn't even horror, in my opinion. It wasn't. It was just a monster movie. And they want to transfer that now to fucking zombie movies. It's not gonna work. It's just annoying. I don't want this type of realism shit. I don't want to feel like, oh, I'm in the shoes of a random cameraman. No. I'd rather watch some random bitch get decapitated than have to watch this man run up a flight of stairs 20 times over staring at his Nike shoes. Just what I'm trying to say is that I'm really disappointed in Hollywood's take on the whole horror movie genre. I really like to see more horror movies coming out in later years, but I want to see original ideas. I don't want to see The Exorcism. I don't want to see The Haunting of Molly Hartley. We've seen this before. This is probably going to be like The Exorcist, The Exorcism of Emily Rose. I've seen this. Quarantine. How many times can I see a bunch of stupid assholes shoved in a goddamn room with bloodthirsty zombies? I've seen this before. All right? I don't want to do this anymore. I need new, fresh ideas. Or at least understandable plot lines. At the very least, some understandable, likable fucking characters. That's all I got to say about that. I await your comments, your reviews, your opinions, and hopefully I'll be back. Thank you.